I'm Sherry.
I'm Terry.
We know you can't see it, but
we're totally twins.
And we all know 2 is better than 1. So when I got a new iPhone from T-Mobile,
I got one too.
Now we can have twice the fun.
Literally.
Right now, when you buy one iPhone 8 from T-Mobile, you get a second iPhone 8 on us after rebate. Because the only thing better than one iPhone is a second iPhone. Join T-Mobile today.
If you cancel, phone balance is due. Full price $700. Finance agreements and trade-in required for iPhone offer.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Goldilocks Productions provides professional internet, TV, and radio shows in the spiritual and New Age genre.
Enjoy this presentation of the Jimmy Mack Healing Show.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Mack coming to you live with another transmission and download of the Jimmy Mack Healing Show. Hope you guys are warm and dry wherever you may be. We're experiencing some incredible thunder and lightning storms here, so bear with us on the setup for that. So if it fades in and out, you'll know why. Not to mention the north, up north, of course, has thunderstorms and rain and all that going on and cold weather. So it's all good, and hope everybody's doing well. And I want to thank you for joining us today. Of course, you can tune in every Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Also want to thank Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman for today's show and helping us produce it. Sandy Bittinger, of course, for helping us with everything and social media and all of it. So really appreciate y'all being in support of the show. You definitely want to call in today if you're interested in a reading and a healing. If you just want to listen, that's fine too. It's all good. Of course, you can hear us not only on the telephone, but also on the computer or a laptop anytime. And, of course, that phone number is area code 713-955-0594. So it's all good, and we appreciate you guys being here. We got a couple announcements to make and a couple things coming up. Of course, every Wednesday I'm going to be at Kodawari live in person, and that's Awari yoga.com. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, you'll want to reach out to them and schedule. The place is gorgeous, and they have, of course, all kinds of yoga classes there. Gosh, even the entryway looks like a concierge at a hotel. They got juice bars and float tanks and physical therapists and acupuncturists and chiropractors, massage therapists, a little bit of everything. And, of course, I'm there 9 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. every Wednesday. So reach out to them if you're in the Tampa Bay area. We can schedule 15 or 30-minute sessions there. You just pay them directly and go to their switchboard there. Again, it's kodawariyoga.com. Also, this next Monday, I will be at Charlotte Tempone's office. She's an acupuncture physician in Tampa. And that's Charla, Charla, Tempone, Tempone. And that's this next Monday. I'll be there at her office seeing clients for readings and sessions. Also, that will be from 11 a.m. to about 5 p.m. So definitely want to get on that schedule, look them up, folks, and give them a call. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area, again, those are two different dates that are imminent coming up. One is tomorrow. It generally sells out. The Wednesday does. So just so you know. And then, of course, next Monday, I'll be at Charlotte Tempone's office, Dr. Charlotte Tempone, the last Monday of every month from here on out. So definitely look to come see me in person there. We also do, of course, phone sessions, 48 states, and Skype and Zoom worldwide. So we can always help you and contribute to you wherever you may be. Next Tuesday show will, of course, be with our resident trans medium, Reverend W. Dean Spear, And that's always interesting because it's, I call it communication with the dead. That's how it's written in the Bible. She calls it communication with the living. That's just changed form. So always an interesting point of view in that. And if you're interested in calling and having a brief little session with your loved ones, by all means join us for next week's show as well. We also have an audio MP3 coming out. It's probably just after Easter, the way it's looking right now. We shall see. I call it the Good Good. That's my little abbreviated name for it. But it's basically about a 30-minute audio MP3. The first 15 minutes is going to tear off a lot of chaos, drama, mystery, intrigue, and upset, and shame and guilt spiral, and all the stuff people have been through their whole lives. And the second part of that audio MP3 is going to be very powerful in implanting the good stuff. So it would be more ease, joy, glory, laughter, entertainment, grounding, moving forward with comfort, grace, and ease, of course. So really excited about that to come out. So far, the folks that sample it said it's just been the best audio MP3 we've had thus far. And we have over 20 of them, of course, 8 books as well. So you can always reach out to me, info@jimmymackhealing.com. That's INFO at jimmymackhealing.com. So every week we like to bring you somebody different and exciting and fun and unusual, and today's show is no exception to that. Today we have Michele Meiche on, and it's Michele, Michele, at soulplayground.life. That's SOUL playground.life. She's, of course, assisting folks to create a life of deeper meaning, prosperity, and purpose, attracting your soulmate, life mate. She's done spiritual coaching, of course, soul guidance, and tools for the soul path. She's a hypnotist, intuitive counselor, psychic, astrology, numerology readings, but like me, of course, I love it. And she's the host, producer of Awakenings with Michele Meiche. Author of the book Meditation for Everyday Living, CDs, online courses, and workshops for empowerment and transformation. And today's show, we're going to make a little bit different. We're going to certainly work with her on these different things and really dive deeper into all that and what she's got going on. And we're actually going to do a short guided meditation with her as well. So we're really going to mix it up today. Of course, we'll always take a few callers scattered here or there. But today's show is a little bit different, and I think that's good. So we're going to keep it stirred up. Hey, Michele, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. I love stirring up.
I love it. That's me too. That's me too. I love that. So I'm so happy that you're on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Mix it up. Yeah, you know, I was thinking as you're sharing some of the stuff that I do, it's like when you've been on this path for so long, you train and study a lot. You know, it comes out of your interests, and then it's like, hey, I want to get certified in that, or I want to get a degree in this, or I want to study with this person, or that person, and your passion guides you, right?
Right. Oh, no doubt. I tell everybody, my stuff's shorter and faster and easier, deeper, cheaper than it used to be, and I dropped 6 figures over 10 years of my life following a lot of famous people around and learning what they do. So without question, you and I are lucky enough to make a living doing what we love. I mean, this isn't our hobby. Like, we breathe it and sleep it and just, we live it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Well, tell folks a little bit about you, how to get a hold of you. What do you love? What do you enjoy as far as readings go? I know you have a lot of different choices on your site, everything from the astrology piece to, 30-minute readings, hour readings, that sort of thing. What's been coming up for you lately? I see it in trends just like you probably do. I'll have cancer people all week long. The next week it's solid prostate. And the next week it's all about boo-hoo-hoo in my relationship. So what's happening for you lately? Tell folks how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, okay. So they can people can go to soulplayground.life for more information, and it's kind of a resource website. And of course, I know I have a podcast on Blog Talk, also Awakenings with Michele Meiche. So those are resources, and then the social media. Although, I'm more of a psychic channel, born psychic,
right.
Highly intuitive and psychic. So I was as a kid, and then, as I got older, I think I started really like in 14, junior high, with meditation and astral projection, and just really wanting to, for some reason, it's like a past life thing. It's in you. It's in your DNA. I just naturally had interest, and come to find out later, my mom did as well. So a little bit, I think, was perhaps passed on, or you're born into some type of resonance. So it's been a lifelong, part of me. No matter what I've done, I was a successful model and an actress, and I still did this on the side, on the set. It's always was a part of me. And then I decided, I think it was like in the 90s, to retrain, leave everything behind, and to study and retrain. And part of the reason that it happened was I started being woken up at between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. and getting information on people. And, and of course, this was before, I did have a little laptop, I guess. It was a 145B, I think it was called, by Apple. But I would write longhand. Yeah, and then I would meet people. I'd do a workshop or seminar. And then that morning, I would just wake up and I'd get information, and I'd get the message, you're going to see them again, and give them this information, or call them, like one of the astrologers that I'd taken a class from her. And she was amazed. She was like, and she owned a metaphysical bookstore, and she said, oh, there's no way you could have this information. How do you, it's highly confidential. I'm going into this lawsuit. And she goes, I've been praying for this information. And that's what I heard over and over. And this lasted about 2.5, 3 years. And everything was taken from me. And this is for your listeners. Sometimes this happens, it happens in various shapes and forms on your path. Everything is taken from you, right? I'm sure you've experienced that.
I've done that. Yeah, I did that. I've done that twice.
Yeah, it happened. Well, to redirect. And I was like, even the modeling, even my agents at the time said, Michele, you're on this list. You're not the only one, but it's called the do not use list because you've been overused in all these stores and promotions. So you have to kind of take a break. And I'm like, what is this? So they're like, but it was all orchestrated from spirit, because the schedule that I had, it was just crazy with getting all these spiritual downloads, and then word spread. So I was reading for people internationally, and at the time I didn't even charge. I didn't even charge until this lady I read for, an astrologer in Newport Beach, said, my God, you're accurate, you're good. She goes, why aren't you charging? And I'm like, I never thought of that. I was like having fun. I'm just picking up the phone and doing readings. And so that kind of really got me, going in a different direction and thinking I really want to dive into this for myself, for my own healing and empowerment, and to really help people. And so I, would share with everyone, and I know you've had this experience, that sometimes it seems people are taken away from you for a while, a job,
or forever.
Or forever, yeah. Well, what was interesting with me, everything came back. Actually, and then I ended up going to England to train, and I took 3 years off. And people thought, oh, my God, you're crazy, Michele, because you've built this great career up. Not just the modeling and acting, but I had a really great, client base, some amazing people I was working with, which I continued to work long distance. But when I came back, everything was back. Not quite at the same level, but all the pieces came back again. And, I always, think about that right now because I'm really working on trust and faith and some new stuff that's coming in. I had so much trust and faith because I had so many instances, so much synchronistic living. And I think sometimes we get, and it's the lovely ego, we get, we go through things like that. We blow out, we expand, and then we have to keep things going. So my whole thing right now for myself the last few years and for other people, my next aha or awakening is we have to be able to do that, but not get in the worker bee ego mode of just keeping things going. We have to still be able to listen to spirit, the source of all that is, the higher self, mix it, make sure that part of you is, you've got to take the space. Everybody always asks me, what do you do, Michele? I go, you've got to pause. Got to not rush. You got to take the space. Ask the question. What do you need to know? Send me the confirmations. but you have to allow space to hear it. It won't the synchronistic connection. You'll miss it. The message from spirit or from your soul, you'll miss, right? If you're running or if you're too busy maintaining what you've created, you lose sight of the
Right.
Right?
I find too in the morning, if I can just not talk to anybody till about the crack of noon, that really yanks up the volume for me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I have an aha moment just in that silence.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I schedule people later. I do other things. Even some TV work I've been starting to do. One that I do monthly, I have to be there really early. But some of the other ones, I've been intending, I don't want to have to be on the set at 7 a.m. if I don't have to, because I enjoy my morning and
of course
to commune with spirit, to feel that that energy of the all that is us, through us, as us.
My friend said to me the other day, let's go offshore fishing first week in April. And I said, that's great. He says, they have two choices, 6 a.m. or 2 p.m. I said, well, I'll be there at 2 p.m.
That's exactly. Keep the police back.
I don't want to go duck hunting. I don't, come on. That's silly. I wouldn't even. I'd be waking up by the time they were getting the boat back here. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, let's grab a call or mix it up, and then we're going to get back to more of you, of course. 727's our first caller. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? You have a question for Michele?
Well, I had initially written down on my list for today that I was just going to want to clear some energy because I'm taking my kids on Friday to vacation in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
A girlfriend of mine from high school for a few days, and then actually spending a few days at my birth mom's house, and they'll be the first time they get to meet her, which is super exciting. So I just wanted to make sure I had good energy for that. And then literally 10 minutes before your thing is starting today, I got a message from my ex-boyfriend's attorney that his ex-wife's attorney wants to depose me.
Oh, my gosh.
And I want to say, no. He's my ex-boyfriend. No.
Right.
So that's super fun.
I'm afraid I'd have the biggest case of amnesia ever. But you have a question for Michele? Oh?
Yeah, exactly. Say amnesia with a deposition.
Right.
Yeah.
Did
you have a question, Sarah?
No, I just wanted to, I really just wanted to, any hints or tips on whatever I can do to clear the energy so that my kid that gets a little out of shape if everything's not scheduled isn't feisty pants in front of people, that we just have a really awesome time. Last time we took a trip similar to this, it was in our vacation, it was this bubble of joy that we had. And I just would like that bubble of joy back where all my children got along. We all got along with each other. No one pushed my buttons. It was amazing. And then it was literally wheels down in Tampa, game on. But I just wanted to have that similar experience this time. So I don't, whatever energy I can clear out so that we just all have.
Just be you,
once
your
in a
shiny
lifetime trip.
Sarah, be you, your shiny self that you are. You are working a lot, and even with this deposition, what's coming up around you on a soul level is acceptance of what is, and that it's all perfectly unfolding. You are moving through, and a lot of people this is happening because the soul likes to shift and, mix things up and, is a bit of a Mad Hatter sometimes. You're really moving into a space, and you're really going to start feeling it, I would say, midsummer to end of summer, that you're perfect as you are. Everything that you do is actually perfect. You do things so well. You've got this perfectionist complex. Your 100% is like somebody else's 150 or 200%. So for you, it's about relaxing more into it, this is human. This is the kids. Oh, my God, look at, they got the halo on. Oh, my God, the little horns are coming out. Oh, well. So you're having, that's what this deposition is about, releasing control on having the ducks in a row, because they're going to move. They'll get back in a row, but they're going to move. And I see this summer, I feel more trips around you for some reason, so I don't know if you normally travel more in the summer. There's a lot to do with, you're going into your own retrograde. Of course, we have a retrograde that's coming up a couple days, actually. So you are going to be seeing people from the past bouncing back in, situations in the past, hearing from people from the past or hearing about them, or someone that you might wonder, oh, I wonder what happened to so-and-so, and then boom, oh, that's what happened. Or so part of this, when we have this kind of rebounding or bouncing back in from people and situations, it gives us the time to take a breath and go, wow, look how far I've come, look where I'm at. Or wow, isn't that interesting, all the things that I experienced or the little dramas or the people I've been around. You're getting a new perspective that is, and I feel more play for you. I hope this is making sense for you. There's much more of a lightening up and more Sarah time that's going to be coming in at the close of, the close of the year for sure, but the energy pattern for you starts July, August with this new perception that's coming in for you. Does that give you any insight?
Awesome. No, that's awesome. I always like good. That's always good. Good news is always good to hear, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot going on. Well, as I say to my friend, the bald-headed lawyer, Sarah, what does your lawyer say? What do the lawyers say?
I don't know. I literally called the attorney back and said, like, do you guys need me? I don't know if you know, but I haven't been with this guy for like 4 or 5 months. So does my opinion still matter? And she's like, his assistant was like, oh, I'll check and get back to you. And I'm like, and by the way, one of y'all would need to be there with me because I'm not going by myself. So, so it's TBD.
Okay.
But, yeah, my first instinct was like, do you really? It's not my battle anymore. I'm not in the middle of it anymore. Like, I think I've sent enough emails to the guardian ad litem and all the powers that be of my opinion of the situation. So I really don't think.
Well, I feel like I feel like the best thing they want to do is get your chitty chatness in the chair. I think it's going to do them more harm than good. So
I think they want to gaslight me. I think his ex wants to gaslight me. Like, her questions are going to be to completely get me to, like, say what I really feel about it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it may release entirely is what I'm getting right now. It's kind of a coin toss they're showing me. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. That may just go away on its own. The second thing, if it doesn't, it could be really bad for their side. Yeah.
But Sarah, just do you. Just be you. Just be however you feel like being or saying what you feel like saying. You know what I'm saying? It's you have it so down pat in how you can handle it. If you need to show up, you so got this.
Nice.
Yeah, I do like the advice too of selective amnesia is not a bad idea.
No. Exactly. But if that's what you want to do, it's interesting, Jimmy, when you say, what does the lawyer say? I'm thinking, what's the lawyer saying her, the inner authority?
Yeah, I agree.
Go with that, right? Go with that because you know the people, you know the situation, trust your gut on it.
Yeah, kind of the joke I'm not involved anymore. I don't want the crazy anymore. I'm good.
The joke in all of it is if you tell the truth, you never have to remember what happened, just the truth. And I just feel like that really could bite them. I think this whole thing could really bite them, not your ex-boyfriend.
No, it's not. That's not where my bad opinion is. My bad opinion is the crazy ex-wife that manipulates their daughter.
And that's kind of the point. It's if, they end up asking you all this stuff, it's not going to go well for them. So run with that, honey, and we'll see what happens next. Okay?
Yeah, stay tuned. Thank you so much, you guys.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
Great rest of your day.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So, Michele, I know you had talked about, that's a great message coming from Spirit. We talked about maybe briefly doing a form of guided meditation. Are you guided to do anything different or special for the show or for the listeners?
Oh, well, what we can do, like I spoke of, that there is a retrograde coming in. I think also Jupiter.
I would love to hear your plans on that, too, because I know there's been a bunch of planets all upside down and sideways, and it's just been crazy.
It's been crazy. Well, you know, we have to recall, you know, we're getting in, what is it, the yugas. We're in the Kali Yuga, the disruption phase. And metaphysically, it's the converging flow part of the awakenings where everything's happening all at once. So there's a lot of destruction, but yet there's a lot of building back up, right? There's a lot of people pulling apart. There's a lot of polarization, yet there's a lot of people moving into that awareness of oneness. So it is a mixed bag on the surface. Underlying that metaphysical principle of love as the binding force is happening. We're moving more towards harmonization. Of course, which started at the harmonic convergence in the late 80s. So we are, you know, we are moving in that direction. But what's so interesting is the Aquarian age, which is co-ruled the planets, are Uranus and Saturn. So Saturn is like Father Time, Chronos, patience. It's step by step. It's like a, you know, serial processor. You know, A, B, C, D. You know, it is chronological, past, present, future. And then Uranus is the lightning bolt, where something happens, boom, quickly, or it plods along, and then all of a sudden something happens, or a lot happens all at once and then nothing. So we all are having to realign to this new energy pattern. It's less, it's more synchronistic. It's more based on divine timing or right timing, as opposed to linear. But we still have the linear time, and we will, you know. So it is that mixed bag where a lot of people get me asking, like, God, things are really moving, and now it's stuck or it's stagnant. I'm like, that's the energy pattern that we're in. You kind of have to ride it. It's like that 24/7 work, you know, news cycle because of the internet and you know, technology. Right. We have to set our own bounds because the energy will be there, and it will keep building and building almost to a manic level unless we all learn how to take a breath, pause, pull back, say enough is enough. Or like you, hey, I'm not getting up, you know, I'm up in my house and I'm doing this and this. Because people, right? Because people, right? It's like, well, no, because people they're letting this energy run, and we have to align to the energy new pattern. So a lot of this retrogrades that are happening, and also the solar and lunar eclipses, which work on our emotional state, our emotional body, is helping us align more to this energy. And so it a lot of times you see, a lot of it is clearing up old wounds, clearing up relationships, learning to see relationships in a new way. I mean, we're releasing stereotypical, you know, gender roles are lessening, right? So whatever the extremes of the polarity that we've been playing out, guys are like this, girls are like this, you know, this is how you date, or this is what you do, this is what you don't do. A lot of those rules, right, are being shaken up, and so the astrological influences are helping us do that on an individual level, and as you can see it in our, you know, politics as well. It's happening in our systems. It's happening in a group or a systems level as well, that the shakeup of the old beliefs that are no longer, you know, as a Native American saying, growing corn. They're just not productive. They're of the old, and a lot of them are based on separation, on lies, on scarcity, which is a whole different. That was the, you know, different paradigm.
Sure.
So yeah, people have to expect that. Yeah, this kind of little shakeups. Even like our great caller Sarah, there's a lot of that where you haven't talked to somebody in a while, and boom, there it comes back. And it's like, now how are you going to deal with this from the present consciousness? How can you deal with this more consciously? From the
that makes sense too, because if you haven't been with them for a while, you haven't been in that chaos or drama for a while, when you step back, it's a whole nother perspective. So, you know, she goes to depot, it's going to be a whole nother conversation and word choices than it would have been 6 months or a year ago.
Yes, and why don't people realize that? It's like, okay, this is not little Sarah before. This is Sarah of a different consciousness now. So
Sarah's powerful now. That's right.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, they say it's a kind of a precursor shadow. You feel like it's coming up on Mercury retrograde now. It almost feels like it's we're on our surfboard and it's starting to pull us outwards to hit that wave. Do you feel like that often happens?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You have the, the beginning, and if you look at any, aspect or anything, it's just like what happens on the earth plane. It just, things start building, and then, we have an apex of it, and then it tapers off a little bit. But we are in that building phase. It's, I think it's in 2 days. Actually, the 22nd, I believe, is when we have.
Okay.
So it's coming up. And it's going to be, and then we have, I think the following week, we have Jupiter going retrograde. If I'm not mistaken, in April or May, end of April, I think also Mars. So we have quite a few retrogrades that also tie into each other. All of them will be this one's in Aries, Mercury in Aries. So for those budding astrologers or, people that have interest, you won't want to look at where Aries is in your chart. That's what's going to be most affected. The house placement shows the area that's to be affected. And, of course, any of the other fire signs, as any of the major aspects, oppositions or squares, is going to show you what kind of energy. And that's simply, I feel like, when we look at astrology, and that's what I read, energetic. To me, it's all energetic. And even when you get to astrology, it's still stepped down because it's more into form. It's instead of just having a message about the energy pattern that's less formulated, I guess. But it just shows us what is the predominant energies. What are we to be focusing on right now? That's the thing I think if people take away on a very simplistic level, is it's just about awareness and how can I more align and go with the energies, go with the flow. It's kind of like being in traffic. If you know you're in traffic, you're driving, and it's slow. If it's normally you're supposed to be going 55 and you're going 35, unless your car has, helicopter wings or something, propellers or wings, and you can't get off the freeway, you are in the 35. You can't lamenting and saying it should be 55, it should be 65, it should be 75. Does no good. So that's why I like reading things in cycles. Even when a lot of times I'll read for people, I tune in psychically, but I also a lot of times it's fun for me, replay, with numerology. I'll look at different ways. I'm like, I can see the cycle that a person is in, and it's like, just like the seasons, we're meant to go with the cycles.
Sure. Well said.
And why do you think we fight that? Is that have we been taught to do that? It's so fun because I even sometimes do it myself. I know what cycle I'm in. I know where things are going.
We ignore it. Yeah, we may ignore it, and unlike you, I just kind of go with the flow. And I almost feel like even in the waves, the energetic waves of up and down, I'm making every effort to just kind of skate along the top of the waves too, if that makes sense. I'm not going to let it drag me down in a time where things are down. We're just going to rebuild the practice. We're going to work on audios, work on books, work on social media, work on 10 other things. And when we're slammed with clients, all that stuff needs to get sat in a pile somewhere. You know that. So we're just kind of rising up to whatever's going on. Let's grab another caller. 727, Kathy on line 1. Hi. Where are you calling from?
Well, hi, Jimmy Mack. I am calling from St. Pete. I love you.
All right. Oh, we love you too. Thanks for calling. That's sweet of you, love. You have a question for Michele?
I do have a question for Michele. My question is that I have found this money 2 days in a row, 3 cents, and then I found another penny 2 days in a row. And it's like right now I'm in this really interesting rental situation, which Jimmy Mack knows. I will have moved 10 times since Thanksgiving. The good thing is that I have a place for the next 5 months. My question is, I seem to have all these good signs. I was supposed to have a call with a headhunter today, and he said he was under the weather, and I'm like, good grief. So it just seems to go on. All these things have fallen through, and I'm just asking what is going on. There's like constantly this dichotomy, like things seem to be in the flow and then they just go to hell in a handbasket, really, seriously. And I'm just keep asking why.
Okay, why? Good question to ask. I like that question. Although a lot of metaphysical teachers don't say don't ask why, but I think the why is key. Well, why is because you're getting reformatted of your beliefs, and what your guides. You're very intuitive, very spiritually connected, Kathy. And sometimes, and it's coming a lot of times from the higher self. Some of it's circumstantial. Yes, things randomly and accidents do happen to us, et cetera, et cetera. But you're being kind of nudged and pushed to focus more on the pennies, what you're getting, the nod from spirit or from your higher self. We got you. I know you're in this play, but they're really not wanting you to focus on the material right now. They're really wanting you to focus on the emotional and the spiritual connectedness. That no matter where you are, you're taken care of. There's this, you get the solutions. The magical helpers come and help you. There is an end in sight. I feel for you around the close of the year, October, there seems to be, you're going into a period of more stabilizing or stability on a material level. I had something like this similar years ago. Some of it was circumstantial, and some of it was just I was moving around a lot, and I thought to myself, because I grew up in the same family house. I mean, we had a lot of stability growing up. You would have thought I was an army brat. I was like, this situation, that situation. Then I was out of the state. I was out of the city, out of the state, out of the country. I was like, and all my friends were like, oh, Michelle's not stable. Michelle's moving again. I was like, oh my God. But what I can tell you is, and I see it in you because there's. What do you mind? Do you do readings? I feel you very intuitive, and you have amazing healing ability. Are you aware of that?
I've been told that, and there was an interview. Well, I'm going to an interview. It's an open interview at a new metaphysical store. So I want to see if I can do something there.
Good.
So
okay.
It's funny that you're saying that. Yeah.
Okay. Promise me that you will. Because this is what this is about. See, the spirit creates the tossing of the salad. We have all the ingredients in place, and then it's, woo, let's toss it. To get you to focus on the spiritual aspect. I promise you, I swear to you, 5,000%, it is going to stabilize. But this is your own personal wake-up call to your gifts, and to focus more on spirit. Okay. I mean, trust me, when my gifts started opening, I went to 6 feet. I was flying high, and then all of a sudden, there was no work, but spirit was coming through. This gift was happening, and I was like, oh, my God. My savings are disappearing. I'm going to a friend's house for dinner, dates for dinner, and I'm like, okay.
I know all too well. Yeah. It's been very challenging. But the Pleiadians, I did a meditation with the Pleiadians, and when I awakened, there was a Pleiadian in my vision. It was vivid, and I was like, thank you for coming. I want to work with you, and I'm willing. I said, I'm willing.
Well, you are other dimensionally with them, so you are a starseed. That's why I'm picking up so strongly. This is all to get you, I swear, focus more on your spiritual. I mean, you got to do the due diligence and get the job, but start. Even for free, just start, and then as you get more comfortable, get that monetary exchange for your gifts. Because I feel like you are a light worker, for sure, a starseed. I feel like this is about your gifts coming to the forefront, focusing more on that, because everything comes from the spiritual, the spirit plane. And make a decision. Years ago, I did some work with Gary Zukav, and he was talking about how it's lonely, on the path, and this and that. And I right away to my guides, I said, we're not doing that one. We're not doing the lonely light worker here. Send me playmates now, conscious playmates. So I want you, I want you to start saying what you want. Get in that meditative state that you do so well, and you put the vision out of how, okay, I'm showing up. I'm going to be using my gifts. I'm going to be tuning in, helping people, energetically. I feel also readings. I feel you're very into. I'm going to do my part. This is what I want. It's a contract between you and Source via the higher self. You claim, this is what I want. I also want this. See, that's what they're squeezing you so you do your gifts. Once you start doing your gifts
hard.
Well, you haven't. Now you're listening, though. Now you're listening. So once you do it, it's gonna all come into place.
Well, thank you.
Well,
May I ask Jimmy Mack a quick question?
Yeah, go, love.
Okay. My question is there any message from Barbara, whom I did spiritual direction with? Does she have any message for me? Because she threw a book off the shelf when I asked her if she had any message. I said, could she make her presence known?
Right. I would just go with really what comes through from Spirit, whether it's her or the Holy Spirit or whoever, to whom it may concern, is what I would say. But it really comes through strongly that you've just got to stay out of holding up your finger of what's my one thing and do a little bit of everything. So stay on the headhunter. If it's not time to leave 6 months to go in place, stay there for 6 months. It's okay. If you get a chance to go to the metaphysical store and interview and do readings or healings or whatever, go do that a little bit. But the happiest people I know, and I have terribly wealthy clients, my mother calls them, and terribly famous, but the happiest people I know do a little bit of all that. So that's really the message that's coming through from her, is just do a little bit of everything. Stop thinking it's going to be this one exactly only thing. All right?
All right. Well, thank you, and you've really helped me so much. And thank you so much, Michele. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Kathy. Enjoy. You've got such great gifts. Use them. Enjoy.
Thank you kindly.
Love it. What are some of the things you've seen, Michele, as far as the Mercury retrograde coming up? I know it's planet Mercury, and it almost seems like it's standing still or going reverse. But that's mainly communication. When you say, is it like I'll meet you here at 3 p.m. and they thought you said Thursday and you meant Tuesday. I mean, you see a lot of that Mercury retrograde. I mean, but I've heard that also that, you can finalize stuff like contracts during retrograde. What's your slant on that?
I agree. It's not a time for initiating. I mean, obviously, if you have to, and also it depends if people natally have Mercury retrograde. A lot of times, the retrograde works more for them. It's the planet slows down so much that it seems to be stationary, stopped, and then going backwards. Now, one thing, if you think of Mercury rules is synonymous with the mind. It's symbolic for the mind and how we think. So what happens, the mind, obviously, our mind moves more quickly than our body. So one of the reasons that there is accidents and things like that, because it's the time when the mind actually slows down. So we may not catch something as quickly as we would, so it stumbles, more physically. It becomes, an accident or, a glitch. But it's a time to reevaluate, to process, again, that pause, taking that pause, allowing that pause, look and see what's working or not working. Be a little more circumspect or, a little more discerning in conversation, not rushing, to complete things or to get through things. But yes, if you've started something already, a lot of times it'll bounce back in a retrograde to complete. So a lot of times it's a completion, and it is a really good time to look over contracts, to look over things. It's characteristically that astrologers would say, or expert, you don't buy cars or computers, things like that. They can tend to be problematic, and they can or cannot. I mean, I've had some retrogrades where I've had to purchase things like that, and they've been amazing. Okay. And sometimes, and then other times when it's been horrible, one thing after the next. what I can say is, since it brings things back, I'm thinking about a computer that I got one time in a retrograde, and people were just, my friends were freaking out, my astrology friends especially, and I was like, I needed to get this, and this was the time, and what ended up happening was the computer was amazing, everything was fine, I still have it actually, but what did bounce back was some writing opportunities that I had. So again, we can't always be black and white or read things literally. Sometimes it's an opportunity that bounces back in, or a relationship, a person, or a certain situation to reevaluate. But I would say for people to really slow down, try to become just a little more conscious or aware during the retrogrades. And I mean, I think we have Mars is coming up. Let's see, I think that is May, but there was another one. Oh yeah, Jupiter. And again, there's so many online. You can get a little free read of your chart, and you can see what just an overview. On a simple level, where is this affecting me? What area am I to be focused on or emphasizing right now? And that's all to me. These kinds of things, or when you get a reading, anything. An oracle or anything divinatory, anything that to me, it's like having, getting a forecast and it's going to rain, then you have the choice to, bring an umbrella or, baseball hat or cap or whatever, hat, something, overcoat, or not. So I feel like we are cyclical beings. We are cyclical in nature, just as all nature is. And so I feel like the more we align to whatever the flow is, whether it's choppy, fast, up or down, the better we do. And I know you talk about this a lot, Jimmy. You talk about being in the flow of what is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's hugely important just to it's just what you're dealing with, what you're faced with. One of my friends, her email signature, it says, things grow in energy, whatever direction energy flows, and whatever you concentrate on grows. So I'd agree with that. If we're concentrating on the poverty mentality, more of that comes up. And if we're, instead of debt conscious, my Jewish friend always says you don't need to ditch HBO on your cable. You just need to make more money. Yeah. So that's the way you got to look at it.
Well, and it's interesting, too, from a soul perspective, because sometimes people, I've known some very, very negative millionaires and billionaires and that believed in scarcity and made a lot of money because they were so fearful of not having, money. So a lot of it, that's why I feel like the soul is so important, because a lot of it has to do with what you're meant to manifest or experience on a soul level. So I feel once people really connect more to their soul, they begin to see what their, destiny is, where their true north is, so to speak, and you can operate, from that place. Because every expression and experience on life is valid, otherwise it wouldn't be here until it's not needed or necessary, right? So yeah, I feel like metaphysics, and I feel like we're moving more into a less of a kind of, black and white thinking or, extreme of the polarization, because a lot of people believe certain things or do affirmations, and still things aren't lighting up. And sometimes it is just a bad patch. Sometimes it's their decision. Sometimes they're really off path. They're not going for what their soul really wants them to do. So it doesn't have as much, juice to create, so to speak.
Well said.
Yeah, frequency thing.
Hey, let's grab another caller.
Thing.
I agree. Hey, Carolyn, you're on line one. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hey,
I just want.
You're calling from California area. That's where Michelle's from.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hey,
hello, California.
Yes, I love California. I wanted to ask you, Michelle, did you pick up anything about me remarrying in the future?
Ooh, let's see. Well, you've got some sassy guide on your side that says if you want it, you can have it. Because for a while you didn't want it. You were like, I'm done with that.
For about 30 years.
Yes, I know. I can see it, but your sassy self is coming back. Yes, I do feel, let me see if I can get timing on it. For some reason, time of Leo, I don't know if you're Leo or you have fire, but I feel you this
I'm
July.
Leo.
Oh, that's why.
I met somebody that's a Leo, and he's born in
because
July.
I was going to say, Leo is figuring prominently for you. The time of Leo, the energy of Leo. Let's see. I definitely feel it seems to be kind of slow. I feel like July, August, there's something percolating. So if it's somebody that you've been seeing a little bit here and there, on and off, or aren't sure, something seems to really, spark coming up. Not that far. And this time it's going to be more fun. I feel the higher self is saying the playful, the sassiness coming back, being that Leo, reveling in that Leo. I think, by the way, July or August, I think we do have retrograde in Leo. So that's going to be good for you, yeah. I want you, if you feel a resonance with this, is to just for fun write out your ideal life, and in present tense. Just write it out. Write it on get a nice piece of paper, parchment paper or something, or it could be just even, what is it, printer paper, whatever you call it, copier paper, and just write it out. And just really get into it and use different colors and maybe draw some little designs or flowers on it, just anything to personalize it. And then I want you just to roll it up in a little scroll, put a little ribbon around it or a rubber band, whatever. And I just want you to tuck it away someplace safe, maybe in the lingerie drawer. Okay. Yes, you see where I'm going. And watch it manifest, because you're moving into a very electrical, magnetic. Your frequency is changing. Whatever you let go of, really you were going through some deep healing with that relationship, and you really said, I don't want it anymore. I'm done. But now there's an opening that you're experiencing. So you're drawing that in. So absolutely. Life partner, rest of the life partner, marriage partner, absolutely, yes.
I've met him already, right?
I feel so. Do you feel it's happening a little slowly?
Well, it has. It's been like 2.5 years. And I met him in August 2015.
Okay, and what is he not sure? Because it feels slow. It feels like it's going to pick
well,
up.
we just stopped talking to each other, and so I'm focusing on myself and getting myself spiritually together and physically, and that's what I decided to do. I'm focusing on me, nobody else.
Good.
And I guess he's doing his thing, and I think when we see each other again, it might be a spark.
Well, maybe that's it, because I feel like it's, again, next few months. I don't feel it's right now. And whatever it is, it takes a few months to sparkle or rekindle. A lot of people are going through this right now. People are scared, and I'm saying, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, people? Loving your life. That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to do what you suggested. That makes sense.
Good.
Awesome.
Keep the faith. You're feeling it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, honey, that's your choice. The leading cause of divorce is marriage. So it's up to you, honey. If you just want to hang out and have fun the rest of your life, that's okay. If you want to get married tomorrow, I'm behind whatever you want to do, love. Okay?
Yeah, I understand. That's good. I was married before, and I don't know what marriage is about, so I want to experience it in this lifetime. So that's why I want to be married. I want to try it.
Okay.
You will, sweetie. And you know what? You said some very wise words. I hope a lot of people are listening. Sometimes people don't realize marriage is what two people make it. It's not, there's not a right way or wrong, there's not a way to do it. But a lot of people go in with this rule book, this way, and it doesn't work.
That's true.
So yeah, you're ready. You're ready. You'll do it differently. It'll be a lot lighter.
Oh, that'd be
It'll be
good.
a lot lighter.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless
More
both of
fun.
Right. Thanks so much for coming in.
All right.
Appreciate
Hi,
it.
Carolyn. Lots of love, bye.
All
Take
right.
care,
thank
honey.
you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Gosh, it's flown by, Michelle. Did it seem like 5 minutes?
Oh my gosh! Yes, it did.
Right?
That's so right.
I love it.
Oh my
I
gosh!
love it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, tell folks how to get a hold of you. They're going to want to go deeper, and you do this astrological readings. You do a 30-minute reading. You do an hour reading. They're going to need to go to the website and read all about that, honey, and give them the information on how best to get a hold of you.
Yeah, just go to soulplayground.life, and there's my blog there. There's some good resources people can copy and paste or download, or if they do want to do anything privately. I do workshops also. Actually, I have a couple workshops coming up. Forgot teleworkshops.
Oh.
One.
Tell folks about them.
Yeah, I forgot. One is this Saturday, the 24th, and it's Dream On. I'm working a lot with dreams right now, figuratively. I'm also a dream therapist, so I do a lot with dreams. But this one is a soul alignment meditation, so we're going to be using the energies of the equinox, very powerful energies for new beginning, just to really clear out and get focused. And then I do some mini readings. And then Saturday, March 31st, the workshop or teleworkshop is Sacred Wounding, Sacred Soul Contracts. And people can go, they can email me at awakeningspodcast@gmail.com for more information. You can go to Eventbrite. Yeah, and it's teleworkshop, so you can be anywhere.
Love that. Yeah. Those of all the technology. I love it. Love it. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Yeah, and coming up, and I know I'm going to be doing your future here too, so I look forward to that as well.
I think you're on Awakenings the 28th, I think. I think you're on Awakenings next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay. Forward to that. Fantastic.
Look forward.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. Yeah, you brought some fresh insight, energy into it, and we sure appreciate you, honey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimmy, for having me on. Thank you, listeners. Lots of love and light. Bye.
Thanks again. Hey, folks, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for dialing in and listening. Just remember, you can also get the energy of the replay for this under Blog Talk, of course, or iHeart. And anything that we've changed or worked on intuitively for others, you can also pick up for yourself. So keep that in mind. Reach out anytime at JimmyMackHealing.com. I want to wish all of you that the rest of your life will be the best of your life, and remember to make progress every day. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
You bring your phone everywhere. Work, school, the movies. Now you can bring it to an Xfinity store for an easy way to switch to Xfinity Mobile, a new kind of network designed to save you money. You can get up to 5 lines of talk and text included with Xfinity Internet at no extra cost, so all you pay for is data. It's never been easier to switch to Xfinity Mobile and keep the phone you love. Click here to see how. Sorry, I gotta take this. Restrictions apply. Limited to select mobile phones. Requires activation of a new line of Xfinity Mobile. Up to 5 devices per account. New Xfinity Internet customers limited to up to 2 lines pending activation of Internet service.